Hello and welcome to another episode of the Organic Adventure Show. I am your host, Cy Rodriguez, and today I wanted to talk with you a little bit about meditation. So what is meditation good for? Is it just some idea of spirituality, or does it really have practical benefits? I'm sure if you're watching this show that many of you are familiar with meditation and you probably are even advanced at it, maybe very advanced. So I'm not here to preach to the choir, but if there's somebody out there who is looking for a little help with meditation, what I'm about to say might be helpful for you. So, a little bit on the history of meditation in my life. There was the unconscious meditations as a child, like meditating upon the mysteries of the Most Holy Rosary that was taught in my Catholic upbringing, and those were forms of meditation, doing the Rosary and thinking about different scenes of Jesus in his life, and those were mostly, for me, unconscious meditations, meaning that I didn't understand what a meditation was at the time that I was doing it. So as an adult, I learned about other kinds of meditations. The first one that was of any significance was called Yan Shen Qigong, and that is the meditation that I have mostly related to myself and stuck with for most of my adult life and still do today, only it's my own variation of that particular meditation. But when I first entered into the world of meditation, I had some idea of enlightenment and some idea of spiritual powers and thought that I was going to become some kind of advanced spiritual person as a result of doing meditation. And I really believed in this to the point of even thinking that maybe I could make clouds disappear, like I think it was mentioned in a book, The 10th Insight, or maybe it was the Celestine Prophecy, all part of my early meditation exposure. And I really believed I was going to be able to do some of these things that were done in that book, The Celestine Prophecy, for example. But aside from that, I do believe that people do develop their talents and abilities through certain types of meditation, and they might even be able to develop things or abilities that are beyond what I have particularly been able to develop. So I just want to be clear that I'm not saying that those things can't happen, but my idea was so far out there about what was going to happen as a result and what it actually meant to be meditating that I completely look at it differently now. So I remember also being humbled by my cousin because I thought that I had reached a Zen consciousness, and I told him about it, and he said something that really made me feel like an idiot. And he obviously ruffled my feathers in a big sort of way, and it made me even cry. I ended up running out of the house and running down the street, and he had to come and apologize to me for me to go back. So I realized that I hadn't arrived at this place, this state of enlightenment that I thought that I had reached. And as time went on, I was exposed to many different types of meditation, and I read different books on meditation, and thought at many times that I had reached some higher state of consciousness. And I do believe that meditation has helped me immensely, and I have become a more conscious person in a very, very beneficial way because of meditation. So those things are definitely there. But more recently, I realized that I went through a stage or a series of stages to become more like myself. And of course, this is continuously unfolding, so I haven't arrived at any particular place, but I do enjoy meditating, and I feel like I went through a stage in my life where I wasn't myself anymore, which I think most people go through. And when you start to meditate, you might come into a place where you feel uncomfortable because you're faced with the reality of who you are. And a lot of times when you're faced with that reality of who you are, you see the things about yourself that you want to be part of you, but maybe are things that you built up or wanted to be you. Or maybe they were expectations that were put upon you from other people, and you see that as yourself as opposed to seeing yourself for who you truly are. So when you go through these stages and you have these fears, the thing to remember is that you are yourself, that you don't have to worry about losing yourself from seeing the kind of behaviors that you built up in yourself. That's not a bad thing. You just realize that maybe you are playing out some kind of drama or dramas that you have believed to be a part of you. And as those things as you start to observe those things, you may want to hold on to them. And this is maybe one of those stages or transitions. But what eventually happens is you just realize that you're comfortable with yourself as you are. And that doesn't mean you have to behave a particular way in front of other people, and it doesn't mean that you are even completely open with everybody when you are in a public situation. Being open and telling everything you think in every moment isn't really being yourself. Being yourself is really being comfortable with who you are as you are. So that is where you're going, is back to yourself. And in going back to yourself, all of those things that you built up about yourself that were not really true to your core will begin to fall away or disappear as long as you don't hold on to them too tightly. And that is, for me, the benefit of meditation, being who you are and accepting that. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope this video was helpful. May every day be an adventure in health.